Hi guys, I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about the rubric that I just posted on Unified Classroom and kind of walk you through it a little bit, okay? This is for starting on Thursday, but I figured I'd share it out to you because I have everything all set to go, okay? So the directions for the summative. It says use Flipgrid to record your answers, which we all did a practice round of Flipgrid earlier this week. That's why we did it, and it was nice to see all of you with your little videos. I miss all of you, so it was nice to hear your voices. So you're using Flipgrid to record your answers for this summative. The total time limit for this summative is 20 minutes, but Flipgrid limits you to 10 minutes, okay? So if you think you're going to exceed that 10-minute mark, answer questions 1 and 2 on one video and then question 3 on a second video and then upload both those videos to Flipgrid. I just don't want it to cut you off in the middle of one of your answers and then it kind of like bogged down and kind of weird. So if you think you're going to go over that 10-minute mark, or if you're worried you're going to go over that 10-minute mark, you can submit 2 videos, okay? Not a big deal. The video planning sheet that I had put on Unified Classroom on Monday, that is 10% of your overall grade for the summative. Now, the video planning sheet looks like this, okay? And you are going to have to fill this out for each question. So question 1, you list your 3 key ideas, and you can just type right in the boxes, guys, okay? So just type right in there. And then vocabulary, you should be including, so it should be wave vocabulary. Models and images you want to include. So this would be anything that you want to make sure that either you film yourself or an image that you're going to use to describe to answer these questions, okay? And then you can kind of make a script or a narration bullet note, kind of. If you don't go word for word off here, that's fine. But it's to help kind of guide you in what you're going to say about this question, okay? So this is for question 1, then you have one for question 2, and you have one for question 3, okay? So this document is 10% of your grade. Now, the video planning document, I'm actually going to have you hand in to me on Monday, by like the end of class on Monday. Tuesday is when your video is due, okay? So be aware that they're due on 2 separate days. But this document is worth 10% of your grade, okay? And that's what it's saying right here. So it shows that you worked on organizing the elements that you wanted to include. And then if you don't use the planning sheet, that would equal a full letter grade deduction. That would be 10%. So say you earned a B on the project, but you did not do the video planning sheet, then you would get a C, okay? So just be aware of that. So for the rubrics, I want you to focus on the level 3 indicators. So that's the green, okay? That is what a proficient student in this topic would be able to demonstrate according to the New Hampshire science standards. Going above and beyond that would be the 4.0. So if the 4.0, and I'll explain what the 4, the 3, the 2 all kind of look like, but that would be going above and beyond, and that would be that A+. And then if you don't reach that 3, you could get anywhere from a 2.5 down, okay? So for question 1, it says students will use Flipgrid to make a video that provides evidence of understanding of wave properties. And our wave properties that we talked about were wavelength, frequency, and amplitude. So if we take a look at the level 3, because like I said, this is the most important, it says use mathematical representations. So I'm not asking for an equation here. I'm asking for a graph or a chart to describe a simple wave model. So model, meaning you have to model something, and it could be something that you filmed. It could be a picture. Remember, we've been talking about models all year. So to describe a simple wave model that shows understanding of wavelength, frequency, and amplitude. Also, you have to show understanding that there are repeating patterns in wave data, okay? So for you to get an A- on question 1, you would have to include all those aspects that are in the green, okay? A 2.0 would be not showing the model, but you're describing basic wave properties. you don't have the charts or the graphs. You can recognize and recall specific vocabulary, so you can tell me what amplitude is. You can tell me what frequency is. You can do all that, but you're really missing those graphs and charts and models, okay? And yes, you can fall in between the 2 and the 3, okay? That's why we have the 2.5. So if you have the 2, and you have some of the level 3, but not all of it, you'd fall in this 2.5 range right here, okay? Now I'm going to go up. So if we have everything for the 3, but we're looking how to get to that 4, that would be either demonstrating a real world application, going beyond what is directly taught to you, something that's extra, okay? So that would be the level 4. Okay. So that's just for question 1. Now remember, you have 3 questions. This rubric right here is just for question 1. Question 2. Students will use Flipgrid to make a video that provides evidence of understanding of the amplitude-energy relationship. So we're going to go right to the green, right to the level 3. Provides mathematical representations with calculations of the formula for the change in energy of a wave due to amplitude change. Okay, so yes, this is the part where you have that equation that we talked about in class, okay? So we formed an equation and we used it a few times, and we talked about how when amplitude changes, what happens to the energy, okay? So the level 3 would be providing that mathematical representation with calculation due to an amplitude change, okay? The level 2, you demonstrate that amplitude does affect energy, but you may not include the formula. And again, you're recognizing or recalling specific vocabulary. And that level 4 would be building on that level 3. So a real world application and going beyond, and maybe going on beyond what was taught. Okay. And then question 3. This one is probably the biggest question, okay? So students will use Flipgrid to make a video that shows the development of and use of models that provide evidence of understanding of waves, so sound and light waves, that are reflected, absorbed, transmitted through materials. So the level 3 is you create a diagram, a simulation, a real life video, okay? So it can be anything like that. You're creating a diagram on a computer. You have a simulation. You have yourself in the backyard capturing a wave, okay? It's all up to, you're creating something here that explains how light waves and mechanical waves are reflected, absorbed, or transmitted through materials. Includes a model for sound or light, okay? So you are creating that video or demonstration of sound or light absorbed, reflected, or transmitted through various materials. Okay, so it's not just one material, okay, various materials. That 2.0 is you can describe the reflection, absorption, and transmission of waves, and you recognize or recall specific vocabulary like absorb, frequency, light wave, etc. Okay? That level 4, maybe you're showing me models for both sound and light. Okay? Or you're going above and beyond and giving me a real world example. Okay? So that level 4 would be doing that little extra piece. Okay? Now remember, all 3 questions, there's a 20-minute limit. Okay? Meaning all 3 questions should fit in 20 minutes, not 20 minutes each. Okay? So all of them should fit within the 20-minute guideline. Okay? And your schedule kind of for during the summative, I'm thinking this is what I would like you to do. So on Thursday, you are going to fill in this document for question 1. Okay? Friday, you're going to fill in this document for question 2. Monday, you'll fill in this document for question 3. And then Tuesday, you are going to create your video on Flipgrid and submit it on Flipgrid, okay? So that way you kind of, each day has its own focus, and you're not worried about question 1 and question 2 and question 3 all together at once. I want you thinking about this kind of strategically, okay? So Thursday, you are just focusing on question 1. Getting your materials together that you need that talk about wavelength, frequency, and amplitude. Figuring out how you're going to record your evidence of understanding those wave properties. The key ideas you want to make sure you include. The vocabulary you're including. If there's any models or images you want to include in your Flipgrid. And then typing up your narration. Now remember, like I said, it doesn't have to be, your narration doesn't have to be word for word what you actually say. It can be bullet notes like what you would put on index cards if you were doing a presentation, okay? It's just a way to guide you into understanding, into preparing, getting yourself prepared for the Flipgrid the following Tuesday, okay? So I will also have on my page exemplars of videos, but those exemplars will not be about waves, okay? So I'll do a Flipgrid on properties of matter and a question on properties of matter so you can kind of understand what I'm looking for. And again, this document right here is on Unified Classroom for you. I'm trying to put everything on that light and sound summative page so that you have one spot to look and you're not looking at all the different days. I'm trying to make it a little easier for you. But please, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can email or ask me to Zoom and we can I can answer your questions as long as you're not saying like, is this good? Is this what would this get me for a grade? Remember, this is still a summative, so it is on your own that you are completing this, okay? And one thing I haven't mentioned yet that I want to mention is that your voice needs to be in the Flipgrid. I understand some of you are uncomfortable filming yourself. I have had to get used to it over the past couple weeks, and I'm still not a huge fan, so I understand that. But I need to hear your voice in the Flipgrid. Your voice, okay? So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, okay? And I'm sending this out on Wednesday, but again, I'm trying to make sure that you guys are, if you would like to look at this Wednesday night, not a big deal, but I'm not expecting you to start working on this till Thursday, okay? So I hope you guys have a good night, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me.